I heard Mr. Compton say that his girlfriend was his everything. My son was my everything. I'm glad you get to see your everything every day, through visitation, through writing letters, even when you get out.
All right, Ms. Allen, we're going to get on the record. This is position 1 on the trial calendar. It's case 23 SC 187611, State versus Compton. Mr. Compton is here in court with his lawyer, Ms. Wood. Mr. Abadi is here for the state. And on an earlier date, and good morning, Mr. Compton.
Good morning.
On an earlier date, Mr. Compton entered his plea in this case. And the state put on the record its recommendation, what it was committing to. Mr. Compton said he understood that and wanted to move forward with it. We didn't get to the sentencing piece because Mr. Yancey, who's the decedent in this case, his family didn't have adequate notice when we took the plea. And so I wanted to be sure that the state had an opportunity to have any members of Mr. Yancey's family to be present, or if they had impact statements that they wanted Mr. Abadi to share, they'd have an opportunity to do that. So, Mr. Abadi, why don't you start by stating again what the state's recommendation is in the case, and then I'll turn it over to you if there is any victim impact, anything.
The recommendation made by the state.
You may need to move the microphone towards you.
The recommendation by the state at the last hearing that we had was 20 years to serve 15 years in custody, with the remainder to be served, the balance to be served on probation, Your Honor.
And that was a reduction of the murder count to voluntary manslaughter.
That is correct.
Okay, and then the felony murder was vacated, aggravated assault would merge. And so was it 15 for the voluntary plus 5 for the firearm, and that's the 20 to do 15?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that was my recollection.
Members of Mr. Yancey's family are present. His mother, and I believe it's his grandmother, are present, or his aunt. I'm so sorry, I'm wrong. But she, and I will express for her, and then she may feel comfortable making a statement. I can wholeheartedly say that she does not, their family does not agree with the resolution, and I completely understand why. But looking at the totality of the circumstances and all the facts and circumstances through the investigation of Detective Sinling with the Atlanta Police Department, the state felt this was the best recommendation and outcome. So
balancing the risk of going to trial and not a favorable outcome for the Yancey family versus the certainty of a plea. And yes, it's a different sentence, but there's a different level of closure.
correct, and it allows Mr. Compton to take responsibility for his actions that night.
Okay. So I'm happy to hear from either or both of you. It sounds like Mr. Abate and people on his team have had some good conversations with the family where you've been very candid in an understandable way about your feelings about how this has played out. If there's more you want to share with me, I'm happy to hear that. You also may say, we've spoken our piece, but I want to make sure you have that opportunity. Okay, what I'd ask you to do is come on up to the prosecution table. If you could take a seat in the middle seat. Our court reporter is virtual, and so she needs to be able to see and hear you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So if you could let me know your name and your connection to Mr. Yancey.
Yes, my name is Latina Mitchell, Latina Mitchell. I am Beyonce's mother.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I wasn't prepared today to say anything, but sometimes you have to speak from your heart. Beyonce was a grandchild, a son, a nephew, and a cousin, and a friend. I don't know what happened that day or how everything went on, but what I do know is my son is okay. I'm not a big believer on, religion, but God has showed me that my son is okay. It was so hard just to deal with what I'm going through. The only person that could make me feel okay was my mother. And my mother died 5 months later. I don't know how to bear with this. I have breakdowns still. I can barely work, nightmares. I'm trying to pull myself together and what my son would tell me to do. Sometimes I feel like I'm not even myself half of the time. When I heard the last court case with the sentencing, I
When
heard
you say the last court case, meaning the co-defendant?
yes, sir.
No, the sentence.
Not the sentencing, the plea that was given. I heard Mr. Compton say that his girlfriend was his everything. My son was my everything. I'm glad you get to see your everything every day, through visitation, through writing letters, even when you get out. And I would hate for someone to sit up there and not have that everything, to see that pain and that heart. I'm just a mess every day. And I have the support of my family, but sometimes you're by yourself. I have by myself. I don't have my son anymore. I don't have my mother anymore.
Was he your only child?
He was my only son. I have a 12-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And when you're going through mental breakdowns and you can't be there for that 12-year-old, and you don't see what she's going through, it's hard that I have to sit up there every day and be faced with this opportunity to sit up here and just be okay with this. But I'm glad that God has covered me, secured me mentally and physically. Me and my family are going through it. Just losing people back to back. Holidays are not the same. Birthdays are not the same. And I have to go to a cemetery to celebrate my son and my mother. And it's hard. I appreciate the courts for everything. I appreciate you, Mr. McBurney. I'm going to get through this. I just pray that God will be with you, Mr. Compton. I pray for his family and everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very gracious with your words. And I want to share one thing with you, which is it doesn't have to be okay. You said that, you're just trying to make this okay. What happened wasn't okay. It doesn't have to be okay. What you want to focus on is your healing and being there as best you can for that 12-year-old, because you are still a mom. You'll always be a mom to Mr. Yancey, but you're connected with him in a different way. In a much more tactile, present way, you're connected with your daughter. And so the more you can try to heal through this, the better it will be for your daughter. And hopefully that's a motivator for you to keep moving forward. But I don't ever want you to think that for some reason this needs to be okay. No one is saying it's okay. This resolution is a way to bring closure to it in a way that can be sometimes less painful than if there's a trial and everyone's looking at pictures of what happened, and that can be even more disturbing. So I wish you the best as you continue to recover from this. You won't forget, but in a very healthy way. You already seem to be extending grace to Mr. Compton, which means you may have already gotten your arms around the anger, and so it's the grief that remains. But I appreciate you taking the time to be here and sharing the ongoing impact this has for you and for your family. I wish you the best. You're welcome. Anyone else? You don't have to say anything at all. If you do, you need to switch places so the court reporter can hear you. Well, okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for that. Ms. Wood?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Thompson is 22 years old, Judge. He is from Atlanta. He does have family support. I'm not sure, as you know, when we took the plea, he had his significant other who was here all day. I did reach out to her and I'm not sure if she was able to log on virtually, but he does have that support. He does have one young child with her. Your Honor, he's accepting responsibility. I know at some point in this journey, we had talked about the possibility of him wanting to go to trial and argue self-defense, because as you know, there was the co-defendant and there were other people involved. I think that would have been quite tricky.
Given the number of shots fired, I think it would have been complicated.
Yes, Judge, and so we appreciate Mr. Abadi working with us on this case. He is accepting responsibility. He has been in custody 288 days, so we've asked for that credit. And then finally, Mr. Compton had asked me, part of our negotiations, I had asked, or he wanted me to ask that the 5-year probated sentence be suspended, to be more in line with what Mr.
Chalmers?
Yes,
Okay,
but that's all.
okay, got it. I appreciate that. Mr. Compton, you have the right to say something if you want to. You don't have to say anything at all. But in the same way that I need to hear from any of Mr. Yancey's family members if they want to be heard, I need to hear from you if there's something you want to add. You and I spoke during the plea part of this process, so we've already had some of that conversation. But if there's anything you want to add, this is your opportunity to do so.
You don't have to say anything.
No? Okay. Well, Mr. Compton, I do find, I probably said this before, but we're going to double cover it, that there's a factual basis for your plea and that your plea was knowing and voluntary. Knowing means you've understood the things we talked about. Do you have any questions about any of the things we discussed today or last time we were together? You got to say it out loud.
No.
No, okay. Voluntary means no one's forcing you to enter this plea. It doesn't mean that you're enthusiastic about it, but it means you've decided that this is the right way to move forward rather than going to trial, running the risk of a guilty verdict, which could result in a sentence of up to life without parole. Is it fair to say that your plea is voluntary?
I have to say yes. Or if it's, do you feel someone's forcing you to take it?
Do you feel like anyone's forcing you to enter this plea, Mr. Comp? I'm not asking if you're excited about it, but I need you to tell me that no one's twisting your arm or saying, I'm gonna hurt your girlfriend if you don't plead guilty or something like that. Is anything like that happening? No? You just say it out loud.
No.
Okay, you made it through. Ms. Wood, any objection to having someone in my office sign for you and sign for Mr. Compton on the indictment?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Abadi, can someone sign for you? We'll do that. So Mr. Compton, count 1 of the indictment, murder, the state has reduced to voluntary manslaughter. I'm sentencing you to 15 years to serve on that. You will receive credit for every day you've been in custody in connection with these charges. Count 2, felony murder, is vacated by operation of law. Count 3 merges into count 1, no sentence to count 3. Count 4 is a 5-year sentence that must run consecutive to all other counts, so it'll run consecutive to count 1. It will be 5 years, and I am going to probate it. I think your situation is a little different from Mr. Chalmers, and I think giving you some connection with supervision upon your release makes sense. The only condition of probation that I'm going to impose is that if you don't do it while you're in custody, is that you get your GED. You told me you got close to graduating, this close, and I want you to finish that. So you'll need to get your GED while you're on probation if you don't get it while you are in custody. Mr. Abadi, anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wood, anything on behalf of Mr. Compton?
No, Judge, thank you.
That's it. Thank you.